3 chapters. That's how long the Spring Flowers The Distant Days arc is. It's the shortest section in all of Berserk, and so many count it out as filler, which I'll tell you right now is ridiculous. These 3 chapters serve as possibly the best written letter to who Guts is, and it's truly amazing that it can be summed up in only 3 chapters. This takes place after Guts fights the sea god. They hop back on the boat and begin their final trek to Elfhelm to heal Casca. And in such a moment, Guts can only reflect on his quest, Casca, and himself, leading to a dream of a forgotten moment. A moment that provides the deepest introspection into Guts yet. I don't care where I drop dead. That's how things seem to me. That life that didn't even mean anything. In this shitty world of a battlefield. Guts has been captured and is led by knights. He trips and is whipped. He's frustrated, but at himself. Why is it that when he gets knocked down, his legs have to go and stand back up? Guts is depressed, likely when this took place, and very much so in this moment. It's clear. A man behind him asks if he's okay. He gives him advice. Keep your footing if you want to survive. Since they're mercenaries, nobody's going to pay their ransom. They're already lucky enough after surviving a battle. Them still walking here? It must be God's will. Guts remarks that they're gonna be worked in a mine. Besides, their whole work is killing people. Why would God care for them? The man grabs Guts' arm as he readies to fall again, and he yells to never touch him. This occurred in the time following Guts being assaulted. The trauma is fresh and still clear in his mind. It's his darkest time, and here we see he's found himself in a dark situation. It only gets worse as the man comments on how pale Guts is. He has an arrow wound, and he then falls unable to stay standing, though the man takes the whipping for Guts, making a case that Guts shouldn't die before he can work. And to Guts, he lifts him up. Quit acting tough, he doesn't want to die here, right? And despite being down in every way, Guts accepts this. He truly isn't ready for death. Still, Guts can't help but comment that he's not for sale. And while the old man thinks it's a joke, it's another trauma-inflamed remark. Guts was sold to an old man. No one better try that again. This statement introduces history to their conversation. Guts is young and a mercenary. He must have quite a crazy history. The man comments on how they speak of their past. As mercenaries, they kill and die. Maybe it's because of that rottenness found on the battlefield that someday they might find war buddies. And for them, rather than themselves, they'll put their lives on the line. Assuming they live long enough for it to happen. In this moment, Guts imagines this. Having friends, ones he'd die for. And in this scope of imagination, a single white hawk flies. He would find this. He found it in Griffith. This man is used to hammer in the point that this was one of Guts' darkest times of his life. The mentions of his physical state, how Guts got when he was touched, the mentions of being sold, and how Guts reacts to and responds to it all, illustrates a boy who is numb. This section of the story is going to illustrate that a lot, that he's been beaten down to the world, and he's almost numb to it, that he just wants to run away, that he wants to die, but he just can't. Instinct, something pushes him on. It's a sad thing to see, but the mercenary also presents an idea of why. It's so that one day Guts might find people who appreciate him. He might find a situation that makes all this pain worth it. And as we do know, he would eventually find it. The man and Guts reach their destination, and quickly he unlocks Guts' cuffs. This is his only chance to escape. Run down the cliff like hell and they won't catch him. The man refuses to follow. He'll never unlock his own shackles. Plus, in his shape, hard labor is going to kill Guts. I'd assume he just doesn't want to see that. They share names and Guts promises to pay him back one day, all before jumping down the cliff. The man watches his guards chase, now smiling. Actually, he'll pay him back now. He removes his hands from the cuffs with ease as Guts runs and falls down due to his injuries. The guards capture him quickly, and as Guts looks up, the man has escaped. He knew Guts would fall and be an easy catch for the guards. He set him up and made him feel comfortable with him. Also, he could use him as a distraction. Honestly, he should have seen it coming the second he heard he was a mercenary. No such kindness exists in their world. Yet it's a reminder that Guts is young, he's immature, and he's making mistakes. This is reflected as Guts recalls a memory with Gambino, his shitty foster father. He was amongst the new guys and was told to rush in, yet was surprised when not everybody ran in, just the new guys. They were then hit by arrows, revealing they were a decoy to find the ambush. After the battle, Gambino finds Guts. He was a good decoy. He basically tells Guts to take this whole thing as advice. If he wants to survive, do it with his own brains and skills. Don't listen to others. They'll do despicable things for their own ambition. Don't even trust his father. And geez, what a horrible line. Guts wakes in a cell. It's dark. He's shackled, and now in a worse condition than before. He can't believe he let his guard down so easily. He feels weak, cold, and he's lost a lot of blood. Reflecting on everything, he states, "Someday, somewhere?" Those words don't belong on a battlefield. He doesn't care where he drops dead, even now. He spots a rat and grabs it instantly, tearing apart its flesh and eating it. It was instinct. Like a wolf, he fought to survive yet again, but in his sadness he suffers. Why did he do it again? He doesn't seem to want to live. He then looks around the cell. All it has is a single flower. Guess that makes them cellmates. But as he fades, passing out, the flower is held up by his spirit. He can't believe it, yet his body won't stay up long enough to let him see the truth. Spring flowers of distant days. Now we begin to understand a little bit of this arc's name. Flowers can appear anywhere, even in a dark, dingy cell. But as we'll come to see, they can whittle away just as fast. Flowers can take many forms. Some can be dark, some can be light, and some can be very bright. And in this moment, I think Guts is meant to reflect on this flower as Casca. She is his light. She's the last thing he sees in every single situation, just like this flower as he yet again faces death. I think you can take the idea of a flower appearing literally anywhere as Guts also meeting Casca. As Guts met Casca on a battlefield, an oddity. You would never find a woman on the battlefield during this time. And sorry to spoil, but flowers can also whittle away. The flower is going to disappear just as quick from Guts' grasp as Casca did during the eclipse. Guts is dreaming about all of this as he thinks on if Casca's wish will be his. And it seems he's considering the idea that his bright flower, Casca, might very well be a distant day. Things never may be as they once were. Guts is woken by a lord and his guards. He inquires about his injuries and Guts spits in his face. Surprisingly, the man takes this as a good sign. He's lively, and he actually has medicine put onto Guts. The reason is then revealed. Of course, it's not caring. Guts is going to do a job, and the job is him offering his life for his son's sake. Soon, the Lord's son is gonna go into battle. He's tender-hearted. Guts is simply an object to bolster his will. He will kill Guts and amp him up for battle. It's a fake fight Guts is designed to lose in. Guts returns to his cell, out cold, near death once again. Yet like before, the flower appears as the only light. And this time, the spirit besides it approaches. Guts blows her away with a breath, now trying to speak to her. Is that her flower? He won't pluck it. They're both stuck in this cell, might as well get along. He thinks he's crazy for talking to it. He's hallucinating, but at least it'll kill time. The elf approaches. Chitch is Chitch. She got the name from a rat. It's the sound, it makes. Regardless, she says she's the spirit of the flower. And she actually says she's not a hallucination. She was saved since Guts killed the rat after her flower. If it would have died, she would have died. And I guess because of this, she's decided to reveal herself. Guts asks her for water. She brings water. She then heats him up. She is warm energy from the sun. It should be proof this is real to Guts. The light really does exist in this dark world. In this light, Chitch is so happy Guts is a good person. She then notices Guts is bleeding, taking a leaf from her flower and placing it on the wound. The pain is then gone. She's healing him. Guts then begins to move, and she wonders, will Guts leave when he can fully move again? Humans always come to this cell and cry. They then leave. In the end, there's nothing here. Sun comes in, people come in, then it's dark and the people leave. She loves the sun, but hates it because the darkness leaves her with nothing. She's lonely. This causes Guts to put it all together. Still thinking it's a hallucination, he concludes it must be his weakness in physical form. Saying this is a lot. His weakness, wishing for a person next to him to heal, warm him up, and to keep him away from loneliness, the darkness, admits that in some way he desires it, even if he considers that part of him weak. This is backed up for how he felt about Gambino's words. He desired his father's admiration, and now he fell for the old man's words. He wanted to believe someone else would care for him. Guts wants it, but he believes he shouldn't have it and thinks he can't have it, that it's weak. And again, the flower in its spirit is like Casca. Casca is his warmth. She heals him, and she keeps him away from loneliness. This is the section saying those things, Casca, it might be a distant memory for him. Gutson takes the spirit into his hands. On the way here, he saw a hill with tons of flowers like hers. Once he can move, he'll bring her and her flower there. This makes Chitch so happy. So happy she goes to happily healing Guts' wounds. She literally can't help it, because he's the only one to find her. She wonders if she'll be able to find others once outside, and Guts heads to sleep, the sunny warm spot on his back never leaving. Yet when he wakes, something's wrong. He feels better, his wounds have closed, but where is Chitch? He looks down. The flower has no leaves and has begun to die. He then realizes, it wasn't a dream? It really happened? She got so caught up into healing Guts that she didn't think about the consequences and plucked all her leaves, all just to heal him. The door is banged on as Guts picks up and hides the flower. It's time for Guts to do the Lord's work. He's given his armor and steps outside to face the Lord's son. While the father amps his son up, Guts is given a dull blade, and with this, they step to battle. The son goes in for a heavy strike. Guts blocks and is thrown off his feet. Still, he uses his small size to evade and narrowly avoid death. Victory seems inevitable for the son, but Guts holding the flower knows he needs to win. He strikes back and gets some good blows in. It should have killed him, but the sword he got is way too messed up. It's then Guts imagines Gambino fighting. Remember, this boy is a noble. They don't play fair with nobles. Guts dodges and jumps on the back of the boy, holding the sword to his neck. Gambino tells him that there's multiple ways to use a sword as Guts pushes him to the ground, using its guard to pluck the boy's eyes out, all before taking his helmet off and holding the blade to his neck. He's got a hostage. Guts demands his path is cleared, and of course, being a noble with a noble father, he does everything to save his royal son. Guts begins leaving when the soldiers try and take a cheap shot, but in the moment the flower slips from his clothes, and since Guts reached to grab it, their arrow hits the noble. Chitch has saved them again. A small way to say that even if the flower is wilted away, even if it's different and doesn't offer the same warmth, it being safe saves Guts, just like Casca. Then, all of a sudden, the castle is attacked, a band of knights riding in through the gates, the leader revealing himself to be the man from before. He didn't come for Guts, it was simply luck. Plus, Guts is alive because of him, they're even, but Guts is more focused on the flower. It's begun to disappear. He returns to the hill covered in similar flowers. He lets go, leaving it to the wind. Guts turns away. He wonders if they'll find Chitch. He looks down, reflecting on this whole dream. It's uncertain whether the event was dream or reality. It was so long ago, when he was just a boy. The buried memory of an early spring day. This small 3-chapter arc is quite possibly one of the best depictions and best summarizations we get of who and what Guts is as a character. It's a small letter of who he is and what he's doing right now, perfectly reflected at the perfect time. At his core, Guts upholds himself as a solemn, strong man. And this arc tells us that despite this truth, Guts is human. He's vulnerable and even he can feel lonely. And that loneliness, for Guts, it leads to a want for connection. After being cast aside by the world, after being tortured by life time and time again, and after surviving despite it all, Guts can still feel. And this arc shows us that what he feels is loneliness. Guts again faces betrayal and death, and when he again braves it, he speaks to this spirit eagerly in a hope she's real. He continuously says he's hallucinating, but he speaks anyways. He's desperate for this tiny piece of connection. While he may refer to it as a weakness, it's something he clearly wants. It's not only Chitch. He trusts the man hoping that he can one day find people he belongs with, and he sees the vision of Gambino, a person he loved. Guts wants human connection, you can't deny it. This mini arc is to show us that Guts has always been this kind-hearted person with people. It's just experience has molded him in a way to see it as a weakness. It's something he has to push away to save himself. Everyone he's ever known in his younger life treated him horribly, so the only thing he can do is trust himself. It's brilliant to show this dream in an arc where Guts currently puts all his trust into others, trusting that they can help him on his journey to save his wilting flower Casca, a journey he isn't even sure is right or real. Just like Chitch. Casca may not truly want this, and it might not even be possible. You can also think of this whole thing as functioning as kind of a small recap and reminder of what the Golden Age was. After all, it's been a while since we were at the Golden Age. Guts is reminded of his history and told of the situation he could one day find, topped off with a white hawk in the sky. He's then betrayed and braves death yet again. Even then, in his worst spot, he shows himself to be human, all before surviving with luck and skills he learned from his father. And it's all showing like another adventure of many, implying it's happened a lot. Imagine how much it's happened to Guts before he met everyone. All this was to say, Guts has changed a lot, and Guts has healed a lot. Yet he's still a very caring character this far into the future, even if he doesn't love to show it. That is what this dream is meant to show, and I dare say it does a beautiful job at doing so. But with that, thank you so much for watching. At the time of recording, the Fantasia video should be out about a week from now. I'm aiming for the 2nd of March. Maybe when you're watching this, it's already out. If so, go watch it, please. But yeah, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.